guys, how's it going? Little jam there on the Magnatone Super 15. Awesome little amp. 15 watt amp, hand wired, made in St. Louis, right here in the US of A, which I dig. Have gotten to know the guys at Magnatone actually through a casino a little bit, particularly one guy, and they just seem like awesome dudes. I'm in love with the amps. You probably know that if you watch the casino channel or if you watch any of my videos. I first bought a Twilighter after I played them, which is the brown one, sort of back there in the corner under Jimmy. Then my lovely wife, on a whim, kind of a whim, watch the video if you want to hear the story, but bought me a Magnatone M10 from like 1963, 64 that belonged to Mike Campbell of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, because I'm a super fan of those guys. But before she did that, I was sort of figuring out a deal, selling some things, working on buying this thing behind me, because I wanted something that sounded a little bit Marshall-y, that was more British sounding. Now, I've never been in love with Marshall amps. Now, don't start your hate comments quite yet over that. I just never have bonded with one. And from the get-go, I started playing Fender amps, American sounding amps, 6L6s, 6V6s. And I just always thought that was sort of the deal. I've always used pedals. I always liked to gain stage the pedals, and that just always worked. When I was in Nashville for a while, I had a Vox, an AC-15 that was like a special run. It wasn't the hand-wired one, but it had like a cream back speaker in it, and it was the cream Total X. Cool little amp. I bought it because in my brain I was going to run it in stereo with a deluxe reverb. That was awesome. But then I got lazy and I stopped taking it to gigs, so I sold it. I actually traded it to a buddy for I don't remember if it was a Bandmaster head or a Tremolux. One of the little Fender piggyback. You know, it was either a 67 Bandmaster or 64 Tremolux. I cannot remember which one. Doesn't matter. Traded it for a vintage Fender head. And I've just always had Fender style stuff. Got into the Supro stuff, which I still love, by the way. I still have some Supro stuff, especially my little Comet that I love. But still, 6L6 kind of sound. And even the Twilighter is a 6V6, so a little tweedier. It's not super tweed to me. It sounds more like a weird mix between sort of old blackface Fender stuff and tweed. But still, like a cleaner amp. And when it does break up, it's got that Fender thing. It's like got a little more scoot mids, a little more, that sort of thing going on. But lately, I've just thought, man, there are times when the pedals don't quite get me to where I want to be. Like, I love the overdrive pedals I have. You know, I love the Tontuga effects stuff. It's fantastic, but it's not exactly the sound I wanted all the time. And so I just decided what I needed was a Marshall-y type amp. Now, when I was trying to decide if I wanted one of these things, especially before we had them in the shop at casinos, at Casino Guitars, I don't know. I couldn't find a ton of demos that I loved. So this is sort of a demo. I mean, it is a demo. It's more me chatting about it. But I just wanted to put something out there that gives you a decent idea of how this thing sounds. What you just heard is me actually going through the line out on this Super 15. I love the way, by the way, that the little logo lights up. I think that's fantastic. If you run an extension cab, or if you run the head in a cab, there's a little adapter with the cable they give you to make the cab light up too, which is pretty badass if you ask me. But anyways, side note. So I'm running out of the line out of the back. It has a sort of like a speaker emulation line out. I decided to do that instead of the Capture X, just so you'd have an idea. If you buy one of these amps, you don't want to mic it, you want to run the line out, but you don't have an aux box, you don't have a Capture X or some other sort of thing. Though I think the Boss, makes the tube expander or whatever they call it, the Waza. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Doesn't matter. If you don't have any of those sort of things, you can actually do that with this, and you can actually unplug the speaker. Normally, you got to have some kind of load box like the Captor X, like the aux box, to unplug the speaker and run silent. This thing has that built in. All you have to do is switch it to the 8 ohm position. Coming from the loadout, you can also, there's a headphone out with a volume control. So if you want to practice silently with this thing, you can unplug the speaker with no load box and do it. Or if you're in a situation where you're on a quiet stage, man, pretty darn good. It's not like you can load IRs and choose a bunch of different ones, but in a pinch, it'll definitely do. And like I said, that's what you're hearing in that first jam. And that's most of what you're going to hear in a second when I go through some tones. I'll play some things on the 335 and then switch over to a Strat so you hear single coils too, because there's quite a bit of difference in this amp from single coils. The humbuckers, like with any good amp, I suppose. But yeah, that's it. But I think those are great features, being able to play silently, you know, to an interface, to the front of house, and headphones at home, and it actually sounds pretty darn good. Is it 1000% like sitting there playing and the speaker moving there? No, but it's good. It's a 15 watt amp. It's a loud 15 watts. This one is actually EL 84s. If you move up to like the Super 59, it's EL 34s. But sounds really good, very Britishy, still more Marshall-y, obviously, to my ear. No reverb, not a big deal. There is lots of EQ options. There's gain, there's master volume. Even with the master volume all, you know, pretty far down, it's still fairly loud little amp, especially for a 15 watt amps. I find that sort of across the board for Magnatone, which I dig. So lots of headroom. It sounds really great. But anyways, gain, master, treble, mid, bass, and presence. So lots of controls. I pretty much have everything at noon right now. So except the gain. Gain I've got at about 8 o'clock. 8 on the knob, not 8 o'clock. 8 on the knob. Totally different things. Master, I'm running the master right now in my little jam corner at like 2. So pretty loud still. I will say it does a really good job. This amp does a great job. You don't lose a ton of tone when you turn the master volume down, which to me is important because every time I'm on a gig where I think I can be loud, I can't be. They still ask me to turn down most of the time, and I always try to be mindful of that. So anyways, let's run through some sounds. What you heard on the backing track I was playing, I just threw down, you know, some chords with the Strat using this amp, line out, same thing, just the amp. I think I had the Tone Tuga effect stealthy on for the tiniest bit of slap back, just so it was a little wet, you know, not dead bone dry. Left that on for the lead channel, and I actually had on the Tone Tuga effects noodle, which is just a boost, just to tighten everything up and to push it a little bit extra. This amp sounds fantastic with boost. I am running some things in the effects loop right now so that we can turn on delay or stuff if I want. By the way, great effects loop in this thing. But first I'm going to let you hear it, just nothing. So, delay off, everything off. That's my bridge pickup. In the effects loop, just a little. Back to the bridge pickup. 2 of the Delphine. Here's the Earthquaker Devices Dispatch Master. That even dirty with that stuff in the loop, it sounds really, really good. I was pretty darn impressed by that. Here, let's hear this thing with a couple overdrives and a boost. Nothing on anymore. No delay, no reverb. Here's that noodle boost. It's cranked up pretty good. That sounds pretty darn fantastic to me. Last but not least, here's a fuzz. Still a rich pickup. Sounds pretty amazing. Let's switch over to the Strat, the old Stratocaster. Let's see what happens then, and I'll show you sort of the difference in how it reacts, and maybe we'll even look at some cleaner tones. I'm wearing my 2021 Hamlet Park and Rec soccer shirt. I just got done coaching soccer, by the way, today. If you watch the channel, you know that I wound up coaching Little League for my son, who is 7, just a bit ago. And I think I did too good a job because somehow I got recruited to coach soccer as well. I'm joking about being recruited. It's a ton of fun, and I love it. And I think he loves that I get to coach. So kind of fun, pretty fantastic. We lost our game today. We crushed in baseball. I probably know way more about coaching baseball than soccer. But man, we crushed all the other little teams in baseball. Not as much in soccer. We're getting there. But we got to learn to keep our hands down. Lots of handballs today. Anyways, enough of that. Let's make sure the old Strat is in tune. It is. So here's nothing. Same settings as the 335. That's my neck pickup. Jump all the way to the bridge. volume back a little bit. That's my favorite way in this amp to get a cleanish tone. You know, I like it with the gain up. Volume of my Strats roll back, you know, 6 or 7. There's position 2. You know, I mean, you could get cleaner. So that's, you know, pretty nice as well. Middle position. Position 4. Put on that dispatch master with that. Pretty fantastic. Here's the Dell theme. Bring that volume back up. That's a great tone to me. Here's side 2 with more. Gonna turn that salvage fuzz on. Even if I wanted to sort of go, you know, crazy, like dotted 8th note. Turn the boost off. Gonna roll the volume back a little bit. Sounds pretty fantastic. Let's see. With the boost again. That sounds good. It's just a good sounding amp. I like it. It does sort of the Marshally thing. Kind of will do its own thing. Just so you know, just one time, I'm gonna roll the gain back to maybe like 5.5. Master up just a little bit. There's your neck pickup. So, you know, even that, it does it well. But so, yeah, like I said, wanted to throw that out there just so you got to here a little bit. If you were thinking about a Magnatone Super 15, it's a pretty good idea. I dig it. I'm going to do another video maybe talking about how for years I've been doing the 6L6, 6V6 thing with pedal board live with gain stage and pedals. And I've had my first few outings live with this thing. It's just a different beast. You know, it reacts differently. And it's all about, you know, having the gain and then rolling your volume knob off. So if you'd like to hear about that, hit the comments, tell me, and I'll do a video just chatting about my experiences. More lessons coming soon. As always, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks for coming over from the casino channel. It is much appreciated. If you got ideas for lessons you want in the future, throw them in the comments. If I can do them, I will. I'll put them on the list, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you click the bell so you don't miss videos in the future. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys later.